am speaking up here to talk to you about my journey from being a math and technology teacher to a lady programmer. I would like to send a special thank you to Tasha, who helped me put all these slides together into the wee hours of the morning. My mother gave me a copy of Tatterhood and Other Tales when I was a little girl. We read them so often I can retell them from memory to this day. All the characters in these folk tales are spirited females of extraordinary wit and courage who set out to determine their own fates. So of course, when I graduated college, I set out to teach middle schoolers. When we started a STEM program at the school, Baltimore's ed tech community hooked our students up. Our kids got their hands on robots, Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, and 3D printers. I don't want anyone here thinking, those kids are so lucky. Experiential learning is the type of education to which all of Baltimore's children are entitled, and we should make them feel entitled to it, not lucky to have it. In order for me to teach my students how to program, I needed to learn how to do it first. And in order to learn it, you need to do it. And you need to do it a lot. And to do it at all, you have to start somewhere. The first code I ever wrote was years earlier, here in this very building, in an introductory web development course taught by Patty Chan. It was a few floors up from here. She taught herself to code and co-founded a business. She was also a fantastic teacher and made me feel like I could do it too. So while continuing to teach full-time, I began Betamore's back-end web development course. We built an e-commerce site, and Paul, the instructor, would often say, "So I think you should read through this and try to understand what's going on, and then try to build it." I felt empowered. It is called the command line, after all. There's tremendous power in the ability to create something that millions of people could potentially use. It's the sort of power that our students should grow up and feel entitled to. I'd fallen in love with programming and wanted to use these skills to help Baltimore City students on a scale larger than my classroom. This is one of those times when it's actually advisable to embrace scope creep. As with many great journeys one embarks upon, it is often helpful to find the advice of a wizard who knows a thing or two about where you're trying to go. I highly recommend finding a mentor in the field that can point you in the right direction. And if you have the ability to be a mentor, find someone that you can help out. If life presents you with choices, always choose the path that makes for the better story. Choosing the better story is actually highly relevant to coding as well, when we think through user experience most especially. When I sit down at the bar to have my drink with death, I want to have great stories to tell. My own, and more importantly, the stories told to me by others. I cannot overstate the importance of going out of your way to meet and listen to people from all walks of life. It is a great cure for ignorance. It's no accident that the building blocks of agile web development are stories. Stories are what teach us to walk in another's shoes and to see an app through an user's eyes. They are what help us understand the importance of designing software for someone with low vision or with a screen reader. My class had come to an end, and without any local apprenticeships, I started a daily commute across the internets to Manhattan for a software development fellowship offered by Fractured Atlas. It was exhilarating to build my first production-level app with a team. I experienced my first Stack Overflow milestone, an increasingly esoteric and desperate search that finally led to asking my first question, to which the only reply to date is by a passive-aggressive Belgian. I'd finally reached the limits of what my framework could do, and now I needed to build beyond that. I experienced a second milestone. I'd been pair programming with a more experienced developer at the Node and a fellow classmate at BitCamp, and finally I reached a place at Open Hack Night where I could be the more senior pair and contribute to someone else's development as a programmer. Because Baltimore's tech community can't afford to only be consumers of talent in the city. They need to be producers too. I dare say we all need to be teachers, and if you're already teaching others how to program, I commend you for that. It is so important for our city. I don't think anyone at Ignite wants to work at a company run by Mitt Romney and his 5 sons. I know, it was painful for me to even draw what that would look like. So I started my first junior developer job less than a month ago, building education resource planning software, and I love every minute of it. I get to wake up every day and work with amazing people who are passionate about education and helping our kids. If there's anyone that has even a shred of doubt that women can be successful in tech, I'd like to point out that my boss and CEO of Alleview is a woman who not only set out to build a game-changing company that contributes to Baltimore's ecosystem, but chose to have her offices above a local microbrewery. It was so great to share my story with you tonight. I would love for us to continue the dialogue, so I will leave you with one question. How can we choose the better story for Baltimore in which more of us are given the courage to code? Thank you.